Montana has received a huge buff, more health, and in harder to reach places, better AP, and improved accuracy. The Sigma is now 1.9, almost catching up to Ohio and Vermont, two ships that have made Montana feel not very fun to play lately. Hopefully that's fixed now. HP pool has shot up over 10k, but really that's not the half of it. Health has been pulled from the extremities of the ship, making it saturate more quickly, and it makes the ship pretty tanky. And I have a match to prove just how tanky Montana is now. In it, I wish I would have taken the AA module, but usually there are not a lot of legendary tier carriers, so that explains my choices here with main battery mod 2. Another regret I have, and I usually always regret taking gyrating drill bits. I go back and forth on this skill, but most of the time I hate how slow it makes my battleship. Either way, it's on for this match, and it's just one of the other changes I made from my normal American battleship play, and that is switching Cunningham with Azurlane Colorado. Montana is supposed to be very accurate now with plotting room and one of the highest Sigma values in the game for battleship, but still I'm seeing annoyingly inaccurate salvos. It's just RNG, it just happens in this game, but still, maybe leaving Iachino or Cunningham is really the way to go. If you're free to play, Billy Sims is a great choice, and another inspo option if you're wondering, Kondo. A stealthy battleship is a dangerous battleship. Either way, the choices were made and I'll have to live with them in this match. When this match started, I had every intention of being really aggressive. Montana should be super tanky now. I wanted to kind of prove it for you guys and like put this thing through the test. Tanky battleships, I think they get a bad rap in this game. Look at Grosser Curve first. Okay, GK, sure, we've had plenty to make fun of for all of these years. It hasn't been very tanky. There's so much HP in the superstructure and the casemate that it was really easy to kill that ship. Firing angles are terrible, blah, blah, blah. But still, GK has always had a very high battle impact, and my stats prove it. It has one of my highest win rates at Legendary tier while having low XP and having low damage. And it just goes to show that a very tanky battleship making a decently aggressive play at the beginning is powerful. It delays the enemy, it distracts them, it takes a long time for the Reds to kill you and gun you down, and in the meantime, your team is doing other things to win the match. And I think Montana could play that role a little bit better now. A lot of players get this wrong, sitting in the back of the map sniping. Montana is a decent sniper, but I think it can also be a very tanky battleship now and a good brawler. That's one of the good things about American battleships. You can really play them any way you want. Lepanto here next to us. I thought this was a new Centurion battleship, but it's a Lepanto, so it's probably a decent player. But I'm basically waiting to see what he's going to do because I want to go the opposite direction that he goes. So it looks like he's going to go over here in this little gap by D, and that's great, good for him. I don't want to be over there in a Montana. This thing is so unmaneuverable that basically we would just get stuck bow N and have to reverse out or, I don't know, get smacked by the carrier. This is a CV match. So again, I wanted to be aggressive in this game until we turn this corner and we see what we see. Plus the carrier, it's very easy to get cross-dropped and to get a damage con used up early, and it can put you in a bad situation. But yes, a Schlieffen. We are definitely not going to be able to push in now. We're going to aim right for his bow. Sure, these are 406s. They're not the biggest guns at Legendary tier anymore, but Schlieffen is a ship that we can overmatch his bow if we aim up a little bit. So we're going to aim there and kind of chunk him and also try to stay out of his secondary range. Now these buffs. Some people questioned in my comment section during the update if this was where Montana was really struggling. They were saying, the ship has such poor maneuverability, and it does. 23.2 second rudder shift time is the worst in the entire game, and a big turn circle and all that, but you can't really change these values. The ship would have been 920 feet long in real life if it were actually made, and you just can't go in and change these values. Plus, if you change the rudder shift time on Montana, you would have to go back and fix it on main and blah, blah, blah. I think these buffs were perfect. I mean, what ship isn't going to benefit from more accuracy, more AP damage? The shells went up 400 damage apiece, I believe. Oh, we have a Wusta here. He's probably going to turn out. So I think we led these way too much. But still, yeah, I think these buffs are absolutely great. And of course, the ship is going to be super resilient now. Yeah, that was a terrible shot. Looks like our Lepanto smacked him though, those high velocity Italian shells. Plus he's 10 kilometers closer to the action than me, and I really need to help him out here. Shooting broadsides. I went to aim at the Ohio, but he turned in right as I did. And then these cruisers honestly are distracting me. If we could get a dev strike on Takahashi, that would be huge. But yeah, we set up these crossfires to help our Lepanto stay alive, so that's what we need to do next. The accuracy, yeah, it was buffed. This should be super accurate now. But during this match, there are some salvos that hurt my soul. Here at the end of this match, this one is going to come down to the last few seconds as to whether we win it or whether we lose it. And it comes down to a couple bad salvos that could have been dev strikes and could have erased ships. Now this shot here, I think it was just not aimed good enough. He did a little prop juking and was able to out-accelerate the shells. Schlieffen, though, is heading in towards our teammate, and we absolutely need to help, so we should have positioned ourselves to get a good broadside on him. And Schlieffen has a squishy side. Ohio is angled enough that I'm not going to be able to do anything to him. In situations like that, yes, maybe you could load HE. My experience in American battleships is as soon as you load high explosive to shoot somebody that is angled well or bow in, that's when someone else shows broadside. It never fails. So typically I just spam AP. It takes little brain power, and that's perfect for me in my gaming now. Schlieffen is turning out, so honestly, he's not giving me a very good angle now. So let's just shoot the Ohio. And I'm kind of thinking Lepanto is going to finish him off there. He survives, which is surprising, but if he's still alive, we'll take our next salvo there and hopefully clean him off of the board. Yeah, these guns, they're not that big, but that really has never stopped other ships at the tier. Colombo and Bergonia, I consider those really the most powerful battleships at legendary tier, and they're the ships with the smallest guns. Colombo, of course, it's because she has 16 of them and they have improved AP angles. That ship is very overcooked right now. Okay, we lost our Lepanto, we got the Schlieffen, and now there's a full health Ohio over there. That's not good. In the middle of the map, our CV has spotted a Hayate very low health, so we're actually going to put both of our guns on him. I don't think the CV will get the kill here, so we're just going to have our guns facing this way so that we can kill Hayate when the CV gets his next planes in the operating area. We'll take a shot. This 762 meter per second shell velocity of Montana isn't the best, but yeah, we'll take our shot. Definitely think we missed that. That's fine. Let's keep our turrets here and we will try again. Ohio can't really do anything to me from this angle, and our friendly Buffalo has backed behind the island, so he's safe right now. So Ohio's not really that pressing of a matter. We're going to push in and actually brawl with him. When it comes to a situation like this, we can't take that much longer to fight the Ohio, so we're just going to go for a drive-by. We either win or we lose the drive-by. We'll see. Ohio, though, again, one of those event ships that maybe it's played by a newer player, maybe, or a wallet warrior. I don't know. There are some ships that when you go to drive by them, you can maybe decide if you're going to have an easier or a harder time. If it's a Conqueror or a Yamato, you're probably guaranteed the kill. If it's a player in maybe a Bergonia or a more niche legendary tier battleship, then it may be a little bit harder. But Ohio, yes, being an event ship, I was hoping that we would be able to outplay him here. We'll see what happens. Again, Buffalo's still safe, so yeah. Ohio has pretty decent secondaries, but I think around this range, ours are going to start picking up too. They're not amazing, of course. I don't think anyone's ever built Montana for a secondary build. They have a fast fire rate, but short range, they don't pin a lot. At least they set fires though. As you can see here, I still have a controller stick drift, which has been driving me nuts. A lot of people had some good suggestions for me. Clean it with alcohol, do this, do that. But of course I haven't done anything yet because I'm a procrastinator. But yeah, here we go. Hopefully the stick drift doesn't screw up our drive-by on Ohio. Okay, so Buffalo pops out at this point. Ohio does the smart thing, honestly. He just turns his guns really quickly and erases Mr. Beef. Does that say Beef? I can't read it now. Off of the board. Doing so distracts him though, and it lets us clean up the drive-by. which is good. There are only 2 enemy ships left, and we'll be able to pick up this cap just fine. They have a St. Louis over there, which is a very scary tier 8 cruiser at this point. It's a DPM monster with its buffed reload. Yeah, that ship can put up some serious numbers now. So that's a little bit scary. And then of course they still have the CV over there, which is also scary. Montana has really good anti-air. It's one of the best in the entire game. It's 3rd best at LT, I think, behind Vermont and Ohio. Just one more reason where those ships kind of power crept the Montana. So yeah, we are going to finish off this cap and then we're going to head from B. But as you can see, this is going to be a close one. They have 3 caps on us. They have the points advantage. So really we just need to steam over there at high speed. And this is one of those times where, of course, I regret taking gyrating drill bits. We could be going about 30 knots, over 30 knots to get to B cap. But we took drill bits, so now we're doing 25. And anytime you maneuver, we bleed speed off terribly. As you can see here, we're turning to the left. We've dropped down to 21 knots. We're now going about the speed of a Colorado. Terrible. Yeah, I don't know why I put it on here. It's just some maps it works well for because the map is small enough that you spawn and you turn out, angle all your guns, and you just kind of snipe from your spawn. But Scandinavia is a pretty big map and we're having to sail across it. So very unfortunate. Another unfortunate thing, there's only 4 minutes left. They're beating us pretty badly on points. I don't feel like I can really maneuver to dodge these torpedoes. I need to get on the cap up there, and that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to completely eat all of the torpedoes from this CV and just try to tank it. There's the St. Louis, and of course what's going on in my mind now is if the torpedo bombers get a flood, we're going to have to DC it. St. Louis is probably going to set us on fire. But again, if I would have slowed down and turned into the left, there's a midway. There's a midway, 18 kilometers. We'll see if we get a decent salvo on him here. So yeah, damage con is on cooldown, but we're close to the cap and we can start stopping their points. We get 1 Citadel, which of course with this build is crazy powerful. This is Azur Lane, New Jersey, so she gets increased damage per Citadel hit. I didn't see what the damage value was there, but I think it's somewhere along the lines of like 20,000 per Citadel. St. Louis, we're going to fire the first 2 guns because I know he's going to maneuver, and then we'll use the back guns to hopefully catch him in his turn. And here's where the disappointment sets in. Did I aim these poorly, or I don't know. You'll see. I think we only get 1 pin in this salvo. Yeah, 1 pin. We have another chance here to clean midway off the board, and of course we are going to be burning and in danger of dying. Midway has his planes over us, a Montana, and the friendly CV behind me. So he's in a terrible AA bubble. I can't tell though, like, is it really shredding his squadrons? Does he get a second drop off? Because if he does, that's not good. And then there was one of the salvos that was very, very disappointing. Yeah, he double dropped me. So how tanky are those planes? St. Louis back up, and he 100% has to die. Definitely has to die. They're up by 100 points, so we're going to try to take the first 2 guns, and then when he turns back to the middle, we'll fire the next 2, and hopefully that salvo connects, because we're going to die, and it's going to be entirely up to our carrier player. Luckily, we get him, so we'll put our guns back to the left here and see if we can catch their midway for 1 more salvo. Again, though, how many times have we shot at him? Midway is a very big target. So I feel like this accuracy is disappointing, and maybe I should just put Iachino back on or put Cunningham back on instead of D. Ravel or Colorado. Okay, no Citadel there. There was a Citadel, 20k. If we had just got 1 more Citadel or 1 more little better pin, we would have got him. But as it stands now, we're down by a lot. We do have the cap advantage, but our midway is deplaned. Let's watch his 1 torpedo bomber go in here and see what happens. We'll see if he can get him off of the board. With 1 minute 40 seconds left in the game, this is when you're always doing the math in your head to think, am I going to have enough points to win this, or are we going to lose it on points? So the 1 little torpedo bomber that couldn't. He doesn't get the torp off. What he does do, though, is he forces the midway to turn out, and that's going to keep him from getting on C cap as quickly, so you can't fault him there. And I wonder earlier, if I hadn't got on B cap so quickly, if we would have ended up losing this game on points? I don't know. So yeah, definitely coming down to the wire on this one. But one thing is 100% for sure. If this had been Montana before the buff, I think we would have been dead a lot earlier and we wouldn't have made it to this point. So I think the buffs are good. I think Montana is in a good place now. It's still not my favorite legendary tier battleship to play. I think there are just much more spicy ships to play. After being around World of Warships for so many years, these vanilla battleships, the American battleships, they are exactly that. They're very, very vanilla. They don't have a lot of gimmicks. They're decent all-around battleships. But yeah, I just enjoy other ones more. Burgonia, Colombo, obviously right now those are some of my favorites. Schlieffen is still in a really good place. People keep telling me to test out the new Properly Meticulous skill. If you guys have checked it out, yeah, let me know in the comment section down below. But I hear it's pretty good now. So we are passing them on points finally as their midway sails onto the cap. Of course, our midway was unable to drop and kill him, but we just barely passed them on points. So we're going to clutch the win. And that was a close one. It is fun when legendary tier matches turn out like that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about the new Montana. I would love to hear from you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.